Hey everyone, it's me. And today we're going to talk about miniskirts, the most controversial skirt of all time. The miniskirt has a long history, one that goes back further than you might think. It was the 1960s when miniskirts really took off, thanks in part to designers like Mary Quant and Andre Courrèges. But did you know that miniskirts were actually controversial then? They were seen as a threat to the established order, a challenge to the conservative values of the time. But despite the controversy, they remained popular with young women who embraced them as a symbol of their newfound freedom and independence. Today, miniskirts are a common sight. You can find them in almost any girl's wardrobe, but it wasn't this way for most of recent history. In fact, there have only been 2 times in the past century when miniskirts were widely accepted, the 1920s and the 1960s. But why have miniskirts been banned for so long? Well, it all has to do with how they make women look. Specifically, they make women's legs more visible, which is something that has been considered scandalous for most of human history. Think about it. For most of our history, women's legs were covered up in everything from ancient Greek chiton to Victorian nightgowns. It wasn't until the 19th century when women started wearing shorter skirts that exposed their legs. And even then, it was still considered improper for a woman to show too much skin. But why did things change in the 1920s? Well, there are a few theories. One is that it had to do with the war. During World War I, women took on traditionally male roles and were expected to work in factories and other traditionally male-dominated fields. This required them to wear more practical clothing, including shorter skirts. Another theory is that the rise of flappers and the jazz age in general had more to do with it. Flappers were young, stylish women who rejected the old Victorian standards of femininity. They wore shorter skirts and dresses and danced the Charleston, which was considered very scandalous at the time. Whatever the reason, the 1920s were the first time that miniskirts were widely accepted. But this didn't last for long. By the 1930s, skirts were getting longer again, and women were expected to cover up once more. This lasted until the 1960s, when the miniskirt made a comeback. Like in the 1920s, this was a time of great social change. The women's rights movement was in full swing, and young women were pushing the boundaries when it came to fashion. Miniskirts were a way for them to express their newfound freedom and independence. But not everyone was comfortable with this new look. Many people saw miniskirts as a threat to the established order. They believed that showing too much leg was indecent, and that miniskirts were a sign of moral decay. But despite the controversy, miniskirts remained popular. They were a way for women to make a statement, and they continue to be popular today. Of course, over the years, the length of the miniskirt has varied. In the 1960s, a miniskirt was typically just above the knee, but in the following decades, skirts got shorter and shorter. Today, a miniskirt is usually somewhere between the knee and the upper thigh. But no matter how short they get, the miniskirt remains an iconic garment. It is a symbol of female empowerment and a reminder of the progress that women have made over the past century. So next time you put on a miniskirt, remember that you're not just following a fashion trend. You're also making a statement. You're saying that you're not afraid to show a little leg, and that you're not afraid to break the rules. After all, the miniskirt was once considered scandalous. Now it's a wardrobe staple. So thank you, Mary Quant and Andre Courrèges, for giving us this versatile and stylish piece of clothing. We wouldn't be the same without it. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.